Brothers and sisters, we live in unprecedented times. The Federal Reserve has created trillions of dollars out of thin air. This has led to an enormous stock market bubble and a housing bubble. It seems that the dollar will collapse, and sadly enough, food prices are going to soar, and they've already started in that direction. It's time. It's time for us to start our victory gardens. So let's get planting a victory garden for autumn. We're going to start with lettuce. And this is an old-time lettuce from the wonderful Seed Savers Exchange. It's called a Grandpa Admire lettuce, and it's beautiful. It makes gorgeous heads, and it's also heat tolerant, which is very important in these times. So Grandpa Admire's lettuce, going way, way back in American history. Then we're going to follow that with another romaine, Salvias. This is from Johnny's Selected Seed, a wonderful company in Maine. By all means, check out their website. So, Salvias. And then we're going to do a Merlot lettuce, and this from Baker Creek Seed Company, wonderful people in the Midwest. Merlot lettuce, and let's give it. And then we're going to do a Rouge de Vire lettuce, a French lettuce, as you've guessed it, red winter lettuce, Rouge de Vire. And then we're going to do, how about this, also from Baker Creek, a bronze beauty lettuce. Bronze beauty, okay? And then why not a John Muir lettuce? John Muir was the great naturalist who saved the High Sierras, and he campaigned all his life for preservation, and restoration. A great American indeed. His books are so well worth living, well worth reading, and one of his great causes was, of course, to save Hetch Hetchy, the Great Valley that's parallel to Yosemite. It's 20 miles north of Yosemite, parallel to Yosemite, and people say that it was just as beautiful, but a dam was created right across the valley, and now it's under 300 feet of water, one of the most beautiful valleys on earth, 5 fathoms deep. One day, I am convinced it will be restored. Winter density lettuce, a lettuce you just can't go wrong with. This is from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, winter density lettuce. Very hardy, reliable. Now lettuce, during these times of intensity, has a tendency to bolt. It sends out the central stalk. It becomes filled with a bitter tasting white liquid, white fluid. So, and of course, the lettuce is doing what it needs to do. It's preparing to create the next generation of lettuce to prepare seed. But that's not quite what we want here. We don't want the lettuce to bolt. We want it on our dinner table. We want to put it in our green drinks. So I'm going to be sowing a Jericho lettuce. It originated in Israel. It's a romaine, and it's heat tolerant. Now so we've planted various varieties of lettuce, and we've planted them with the intentionality that something will be done in regard to the general health of the people of these United States, because I read that by 2025, half of Americans will be obese, and this will jump to 60%. 60% of the population will be obese by 2030. Then we're going to go on. We're going to go on to kale. This is such a healthy salad green. Every garden has got to have the kale. And we're going to be planting a green peace kale, a magnificent variety from the Seed Savers Exchange. Green peace kale. Okay. And then I'm going to be planting a 1,000-headed kale. And this is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Okay. And our intentionality here is that we're planting because 60% of the food we eat is ultra processed. And that includes pizza, chicken nuggets, and fries. Then we're going to be planting, next we're going to be planting a pink lipstick chard from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, a wonderful Swiss chard. And we plant this with the thought that the rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide in these United States are at an all-time high. We're going to go on to plant America spinach from the Seed Savers, and we're going to be planting it because diabetes has reached epidemic proportions. 1/3 of Americans, 115 million, are either pre-diabetic or diabetic. So America spinach. Then we're going to be planting mustard greens, and we're going to be planting a Japanese red mustard with the thought, sadly enough, that the U.S. has the highest rate of cancer, yet little or nothing is being done by way of prevention. Japanese red mustard. Now we're going to be planting parsley. Every autumn and winter garden has got to have parsley. And this is a wonderful parsley called peony from Johnny's Selected Seeds. It will take 3 weeks to germinate. That's okay, but it will come through. It will come through. So peony parsley. And finally, we're going to be planting a gorgeous, gorgeous carrot. Hope that you can make this out. It's called a Parisian carrot. Gorgeous red globes from Baker Creek. Parisian. And we're planting the carrots because There were 93,000 deaths from drug overdoses last year, a record high, the sharpest annual increase in at least 3 decades. We're planting, brothers and sisters, in the hope that you will get together with neighbors and friends and plan and plant a community garden. And, by the way, an edible schoolyard. There is no question, in my humble understanding, that we are on the brink of an economic catastrophe. It will come as a sort of 3-step: hyperinflation, chain reaction of bankruptcies, and implosion. But I am convinced that you will pull us through. You will pull us through as you did during the Great Depression, as you did during the Second World War, when you saved all of humankind from radical evil. So plant your autumn victory garden, brothers and sisters, for renewal, regeneration, and redemption. It is my privilege to share with you. Let us know, write in, tell us about your gardening episodes, your triumphs, your mistakes, and your stumblings. We want to hear from you. Let's work together and let us go forward. A victory garden, right here, for the American spirit. Thank you indeed. Bye for now.